In this presentation, we'll be learning about class 1 malocclusion. Edward Engel has divided malocclusion based on the molar relationship into three classes, that is class 1, class 2 and class 3 malocclusion. So in a class 1 malocclusion, it is mainly because of problems in the position of the teeth or rotations or discrepancy in the size of the teeth and jaw. In this situation, the molars are in a normal relationship and the line of occlusion is incorrect. So it could be either because of developmental causes, environmental reasons, or genetic causes. So the various developmental causes could be congenitally missing teeth, malformed teeth, supernumerary teeth, impacted teeth, or ectopic eruption. The environmental causes could be either birth injuries or trauma that is throughout the life. So during birth injury, when the patient is delivered, when the child is delivered, if a forceps is used, then that could lead to ankylosis of the TMJ, and throughout the life patient could have trauma to the teeth because of which could lead to damage to the permanent tooth bud. Premature loss of primary teeth leads to permanent tooth movement, direct injury to the permanent teeth. The various genetic causes could be when there is a discrepancy between the size of the jaw and size of the teeth. So all of this could lead to development of a class 1 malocclusion. So diagnosis for a class 1 malocclusion can be done. As soon as the patient enters, we should take a thorough history of the patient. Clinical examination, both intraoral and extraoral, should be carried out. Good impressions should be taken of both upper and lower arch, of which study models are made, which are then evaluated for proper diagnosis and treatment planning. Radiographs like lateral cephalogram and OPG can be taken. So here is a case of class 1 bimaxillary protrusion. In a class 1 bimaxillary case, the patient has a molar and canine, normal molar and canine relationship. However, there is increased inclination of the upper and lower incisors. So because of which the patient's profile has become convex and also the nasolabial angle has decreased. Because of the increased inclination, the patient has a protrusive upper lips. So these are the intraoral photographs of the patient. Patient has a class 1 molar and canine relation on both the side, but the incisor inclination of both upper and lower arches have increased. Also, the patient has cross bite with 1-3 and 4-3. So in order to correct this, we need to extract all 4 premolars, that is all the first premolar in all 4 quadrants will be extracted, and then upper and lower anterior segment will be retracted behind. The other option could be use of anterior subapical osteotomy in conjunction with extraction of a tooth in each quadrant, usually the first premolars. So bone apical to the upper 6 anterior is cut and the whole segment is pushed back in conjunction with surgical splints and rigid osteoenthesis. So for after this, box and vertical elastics and retainers are used post-surgically to prevent any relapse. Next case is a case of class 1 malocclusion with spacing. So spacing could be either localized or generalized. So spacing is basically gap between the teeth, which like I said, could be in a local area in a particular region or could be spaced out throughout the arch. When looking at the intraoral features, you can see the patient has a class 1 molar and canine relationship on the right side, and class 1 molar and patient has a decidus retained canine. So the permanent canine relationship cannot be assessed, but the molar is in class 1 occlusion and the patient has generalized spacing. So in this case, we need to consolidate the spaces and retract the teeth. In case if a patient has a localized spacing, which could be like a midline diastema, which could be due to high frenal attachment. So the ideal treatment option would be to do frenectomy for that case. Next case is a class 1 malocclusion case with crowding. So again, crowding can be divided as mild crowding, moderate crowding, and severe crowding. Mild crowding, that is less than 4 mm per arch, moderate crowding 5 to 9 mm per arch, and severe crowding, that is 10 mm or more per arch. So before carrying out any treatment, we should consider the degree of crowding, site and position of the crowding, and patient's age. So in case if the patient has mild crowding, then it could be resolved without extraction and proximal stripping can be carried out, followed by alignment of the teeth. In case if a patient has moderate crowding, then the patient might require arch expansion or distalization of the molars. In case if a patient has severe crowding, then extraction of first premolar is advocated and then followed by retraction of canine and the incisors. Coming to the intraoral features, the patient has a class 1 molar relationship on the right side and end-on canine relationship. On the left side, patient has a class 1 molar relationship, but the canine relationship cannot be assessed as 3-3 is impacted because of the unavailability of the space. Now, in this case, the patient has also has a narrow arch for which expansion will be required, and in order to relieve the crowding, extraction will be required. Thank you.